This is 7th grade, Module 6, Lesson 3 on solving for unknown angles using equations. So very similar to what we've been doing so far, so nothing much new, just the angles are going to get a little bit more complex now. Okay, so let's start with this first one. Two lines meet at a point that is also the vertex of an angle. The measure of angle AOF, this whole thing, is 134 degrees. So set up and solve for X and for Y. All right, so this is kind of where those highlighters come in handy, or colored pencils, whichever you prefer. So I see here that I have an angle measure right here. This is 14 degrees. Now 14 is included in that 134. I also see that I have a 90-degree square. So this angle here, let me switch colors. All right, this angle here is 90 degrees. So if I took this X plus the 14 plus the 90, I would then get the 134. So I would have to do 14 plus X plus 90, and that gives me that 134. So that's my equation. X plus 14 plus 90 equals 134. All right, so now I can combine like terms. This is the only one that has a variable, so I'm just going to keep that X by itself. 14 plus 90 gives me 104 equals 134. To find out what X equals, I need to subtract 104 from both sides. Those cancel, and my X is going to equal 30. So this value here is 30. Now they did want me to also solve for Y. So let's see what we can do here with Y. Let's see if I can switch up some colors I haven't used yet. Dark green maybe. Okay, so this is Y here. Now, I see that if I take Y, the angle measure of Y, and I attach it to that 134, which was that blue line there, I form a straight angle. So I'm going to say Y plus that 134 is going to equal 180 degrees. So I'm going to move that 134 by subtracting it. Those cancel, and my Y is going to equal 46. So this angle measure here is 46. And we're done. There we go. Example 1. Set up and solve an equation to find the value of X. So we're going to use this one down here. So let me move it up real quick. Okay. Again, the best thing about this is having some sort of color variation going. Personally, I like seeing the different colors. All right, we have a 90-degree box here. So this means that this area here is 90 degrees. This area, well, let me do that real quick. This is 90. All right, this angle here is 123, and I'm solving for this big thing. Do you see that if I added all those together, I get a full circle? I go all the way around the vertex. So I can set that all equal to 360. X plus 90 plus 123 is going to equal 360 because I'd go all the way around. I'm going to combine my two numbers there. So I'm going to bring down the X. 90 plus 123 gives me 213 equals 360. So we're going to subtract 213 from both sides. Those cancel, and my X is going to equal 147. So this value over here is 147 degrees. And that's it. All right, exercise 1. Let me erase this, bring it up. Okay, this one I'm going to set it up for you, and then you're going to finish it. So I have a couple 90 degrees. This here is a 90 degree. Now that includes this 21. All right. Then I have another 90 degree, which goes this way. which also includes that same 21. So we have this 90 degree, which goes that way, and this 90 degree, which goes in that direction. So just something to see there. This angle measure here is 143, and this is measure A. All right. Now, what can I do to solve these? I could say that I could take this 90, add it to that 90, but I'd have to subtract at least a 21 because I can't have two 21s there because as you can see, this doesn't make a complete straight line. So it'd be 90. Let me see if I can kind of do this. 90 being that blue one, and then this other 90, but I already included that, so I have to take that back out. If I did all that, and then I added in the A, and then I added in the 143, I'd have a 360. So here we go. 90 plus 90 minus that 21, because it's already been in there, you can't have it twice, plus the A, plus the 143 will give me 360. So I set this one up for you. I'm going to let you solve for it. You need to solve for what A would equal. So if you need to pause the video, go ahead and I'll work with you on example 2. All right, example 2 says to solve for x here. Okay, so we're solving for this measure way over here. So I want this little angle right here is what I'm solving for. I can see right here that I have a 90 degree. Okay, this angle here is 5x. And this whole angle here is 204. Well, I see I can do the same thing. If I took x plus 90 plus 5x plus 204, I just made a full circle. So I'm going to set this also equal to 360. X plus 90 plus 5x plus 204 equals 360. Let's combine our similar terms. This has an x and this one has an x, so those two can go together. So 1x plus 5x gives me 6x. And then I have 90 plus 204. Those two do not have a variable, so I can combine those to equal 294. And we'll bring down our 360. Again, we want x by itself, so we need to move this 294. So I'm going to subtract it from both sides of the equal sign there. Those cancel, and I get 6x equals 66. And 6 times what gives me 66? That would be 11. So we have one answer here that this is an 11-degree angle, which kind of makes sense. You also want to use a little common sense here. That's a very small angle, and 11 is going to be a very small angle. So you don't want to, if you get an answer like 165, then you know you did something wrong because that's a really small angle. But I do need to find this one over here. So I'm going to say 5 times 11 is going to give me 55. So this angle here is 55. And now you've solved for all your x's. All right, let's look at exercise 2. All right, I have a solving for x again. So I have a couple things going on here. I have this measure here is 12x. This measure here is 60. This measure here is 3x. And this measure here is 90. And I know that because of the 90 square. Now, if I added all these together, kind of like what we've been doing, this one plus this one plus this one plus this one's, I get a 360. So we're going to say 60 plus 3x plus 90 plus 12x equals 360. All right, I'm going to let you solve that one. It's very similar to what we just did up above. But don't forget to go back and give me this measurement and this measurement. Don't just solve for x and call it done. You need to go back in and put it back into the angle measures. All right, if you need to pause the video and come back to this one, you may, and I will work with you on example 3. Example 3, 2 lines meet at a point. Same kind of thing we've been reading this whole time. We're going to solve for x. So let's fill in some information that we do have. This is angle 30. This one here is going to be 5x. This one here is 3x. This one over here is 90. All right, so there's some information there. Now, I also noticed that I have a rule here that I just kind of came up with. If I take these two and these two, I have vertical angles. Check that out. So I can say that 90 plus 30 equals 5x plus 3x. All right. And again, I like to get out the calculator so often just to kind of help you guys on how to use your calculator correctly. So we're going to say 90 plus 30 is going to give me 120. And 5x plus 3x gives me 8x. So this is saying 8 times what gives me 120? If you're not sure, that's when you divide. So hit divide by 8 and I get 15. So x equals 15. Now I'm going to plug that in for these over here because there's nothing to solve on this side. So 5x, I'll do my work over here. 5 times 15 is going to give me 75. And 3 times 15 is going to give me 45. So how big is that whole angle measure? It should equal whatever this is over here. So 90 plus 30 is 120. So if this is 120, this is also 120, which is true. 75 plus 45. And that's how you can check that answer. And again, that's using your vertical angles. All right, let's try the next one. Exercise 3. And again, I'm going to set this one up for you, and then you're going to finish it, and then you're also going to do example 4 and exercise 4 on your own. So here we go. Last one I'm going to do fully with you, or partially with you, I should say. I'm going to set it up. We have a couple measurements here. I see that I have a 90. I like to identify those ones right away. This one here is 42. This one here is 5x. This one here is just x. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and combine these two. Let's see what we get here. If I did 5x plus x, what happens there? So 5x plus x is going to give me that 6x. Now, if I include that as one big angle, then that means I could also do 42 plus 90, and I just formed vertical angles. So I could say 42 plus 90 gives me 132. Now, since they're vertical angles, I can set these equal to each other. I can say 6x equals 132, and I'll let you finish it from there. Again, you're going to do example 4 and exercise 4 on your own. So that concludes this video tutorial.